Hello, I'm Mantastic'c and Fantastic, and today I want to talk about version 21.5 update along with a couple of new evolutions and upgrades for existing cards. So, version 21.5 brings us multiple different quality of life improvements, which just makes playing pad more seamless and or streamlined. So, one of the first things that we can do now is we can acquire double rank EXP twice per day after completing a dungeon. So basically, after you complete a dungeon, you're going to be seeing this new little pop-up watch ad icon, and basically you can press it to watch a video in order to double the rank experience you acquire. Now, obviously from this example, this is a terrible dungeon to multiply the experience, but if you're playing something like, say, World of Carnage 1 with double salines and you have the sweet rank EXP boosting, you finish that dungeon, you double it from there, it just saves your time. Like, it just makes your life better. Like, it's something that's good to use. So maybe it will incentivize you to play 2 high rank EXP dungeons per day just to get even more value out of it. Basically, just a little fine text. If the EXP gain is 0, you can't watch it, but why would you double that anyways? Next is continue with in-app videos. So basically, there will be times where you die in a dungeon, and it's obviously quite sad. They should have probably built their team a little bit better, but what they can do instead is simply watch to continue. Again, twice per day you can continue instead of, restarting the dungeons. You should never, ever spend a magic stone to continue. Instead, you can watch to continue. There are a couple of caveats here. You cannot do it you can't watch to continue for multiplayer, ranking, story, or tutorial, and I'm assuming title challenges as well. So there'll be some restrictions that where you cannot watch to continue, but there will be times when you can. It just makes your life much less annoying after that. Furthermore, and this is something that I encourage all of you to do, is, well, coins are no longer necessary for assists, so yay, more reason to have billions upon billions of coins. They don't do much at this point. But other than that, what you should do is go into others, then options, then system, and then turn off or turn on the monster enhancement animation skip. Basically what this does, it just skips animations for fusions, evolutions, and assisting. It just gets you to the point much quicker, and by default this is turned off. So what I did right away this morning was I went into others, options, system, and turned it on for monster enhancement animation skip. Now when I do either of those fusions, evolutions, or assisting, life is much faster and less time is wasted. It's always nice when they respect the player's time. Next is adjustments for easier use of Evo skills. So from this little tiny animation here, if they're in the first form, it will show a 1 for their Evo skill. In the second form, it will show a 2 number. So basically, Shiva Dragons start off with their full board change with haste. And then afterwards, it's their 3-turn cooldown, which does 2 rows at the bottom. So that's why it will show a 2. And then conversely, the last icon is if their assist overcharged, it won't show either of them because the active skill available is not either of the evolving skills. It's just nice so you don't have to keep track as closely as to like what have you used, what you haven't used. It's a nice little quality of life improvement overall. Finally, for Awakenings, the L heal matching has been buffed to now grant 3 times personal damage for the owning card, along with a slight amount of damage reduction and clearing bind statuses by 1 turn, which was already existing beforehand. But hey, you know what? There are a couple of cards with this. Maybe you match that Heart L to get a little bit more bulk, and you give that card significantly more damage. Next is you can adjust to edit team to make your life easier. Basically, if you click that gear in the top corner, and assuming you have the right dimensions for your device, you may see this team details, which you can toggle on and off. And the idea is once you do, you'll actually see more detailed information for your respective team. Just makes your life nicer overall. And then finally, there is this animation aspects to certain rarity cards. They're just going to be shinier. I'm not sure how great this is going to be because then suddenly many things are just going to be shiny in your monster box. I don't know if there's a way to toggle it on. Well, it's on by default. I don't know if there's a way to toggle it off, but I guess it's nice to see those higher rarity cards, their icons have a little bit more shine to it. Technical dungeon of Return of the Transcendent Stars has been added. Basically just a new technical dungeon, which is the title challenge that's going on right now. Beat the title, now you can play it regularly in the Technical Dungeon Center. And then Metallic Star Dragon and Cat Dragon series permanently available in Technical Dungeons. If I'm not mistaken, these are used for certain evolutions, so it's just nice to have them available at all points in time. And then certain ones have become unavailable. I don't quite understand why. I think it's just to condense these into this instead. I'm guessing it just makes it a little easier to navigate. Doesn't look like there's anything truly being swapped in and out. Not sure. Next, and this is probably one of the most nice things that happens, is seasonal event monsters permanently available in the MP shop. So remember when like Halloween or Christmas came around, you had to make sure you bought enough of their evolution materials for 3,000 monster points during that brief time period window. And then if, you know, later on you found yourself wanting to evolve those cards, you didn't have the material, you're just out of luck until, you know, the next event, which could be a year away. Thankfully, they're now always going to be permanently available in the Monster Point shop. So now there's no reason to like mass buy and stock up because you can just buy as needed at this point in time. Life is much nicer. And then for general improvements, we have a new Super Gravity dungeon added to Endless Quarters so you can practice with an even greater attack debuff. There is going to be check clear rewards button, and it just gives you a bit more information about what you cleared, so to speak. Selecting each option's name or holding the mark corresponds to this options will be displayed. Just nothing that important there. And then lastly, we come to the new evolutions and upgrades. So there's only a couple of new Ordeal cards and then upgrades for their existing forms to make it so it's a little easier, I guess, to get the Ordeal evolution. So the first off is Hera Nyx. This is the farmable Hera, not Hera Luna, which is the Godfest exclusive. So get yourself that farmable Hera, evolve her up into Nyx form. Make sure you have some Dark Rose on your team. And then you will have this new Ordeal form here. So new Ordeal Hera has strong personal damage in Super Gravity Dungeons due to Levitate, 310 combos, and a 3x3 Awakening. Plus, they have 4 skill boosts, which is actually quite unusual for most Ordeal cards. Most Ordeal cards don't really have skill boosts, so it's nice that some of them do. Her active skill is a 15-turn cooldown that gives 2 times attack for devils and sets all of your cards, all your subs damage cap to 7 billion for a single turn. And then it's a 30% gravity. I can foresee this possibly having some uses in like farming setups, but I don't quite know where we could use it beyond that, because a 15-turn cooldown is a little awkward to work around. Maybe like UN6, I believe, like where using gravity against him can be good, because I know Ordeal Zeus was utilized. Maybe Ordeal Hera could be possibly utilized for that. Maybe, because you know that gravity can bypass the first phase of the boss, so you don't have to do that big damage check. But I'm not quite sure where to utilize her, but at the same time, she is free. It's a farmable card, so there's no reason not to make this Ordeal evolution, just to have it at least in your monster box in case, you know, things change. On the other hand, Nephis is a Pantheon card who has now become a strong swipe farming option. So if we just look purely at her Awakening, she has double brick and a 10 combo with a pretty large attack stat. So with those combo orbs, you're going to be able to, you know, actually improve the combo count, which in turn means you can trigger that 10 combo, so all of her attributes can deal meaningful amounts of damage. Make sure you put on a dark sub-attribute, though, to make sure you tap into all 3 attributes. And then her active skill is 2 times attack and sets the damage cap for this particular card to 5 billion. So 3 attributes means up to 15 billion per match for 2 turns on a 4-turn cooldown. So you need 4 of these to form a system, but because she's a Pantheon, there's a good chance you might have multiple of her lying around. You could just, you know, make all of them into this Ordeal form, and then you actually have a swiping team, because every turn you can use 1 Nephis. And yes, you only have 2 active skill slots to cover mechanics, but possibly you use maybe like, say, a Cleric, and then an Absorption Cancellation. You need to find a way to deal with damage penetration, which is going to be obviously a bit problematic, but maybe you can find a way to cover like Clericing, Absorption, and damage penetration. Maybe your Cleric and your Absorption solution have the 3x3 box, because technically, with 12 Dark Orbs produced, you are able to at least rearrange them into a 3x3 box. Maybe you can get away with that. I still can see this being utilized to swipe farm stuff because, you know, like it's something different than Shiva Dragons. Shiva Dragons, do they have more investment needs? They do require monster points, whereas this requires a Pantheon. Ordeal evolutions are easy to do, so to speak. You just clear a very easy dungeon once, unlike Shiva Dragons, you have to clear multiple times. But then the monster experience needed to get these cards to level 99 is quite steep, but maybe by this point in time you have ways to acquire monster experience easily. Point of the matter is, she is a swipe farming option. She can even be utilized as a leader because it does give at least the auto follow attack component. It does give a respectable attack multiplier. I feel like I'm probably just going to make a bunch of these just to have. I'm not sure when I'm going to use it, but it's something that I could possibly utilize. Drawback is, of course, it needs 4 people to make the system as opposed to 3. And then buffs to Hera, Nyx, and Nephis in their pre-Ordeal evolution form. I don't really think this is going to change anyone's life. It just makes it so it's easier to clear the Ordeal dungeons with them. Same with Nephis. But on the other hand, I'm a big fan of Nephis' weapon assist. I think it got upgraded significantly to have, now it has a combo orb, has 3 dark rows, it has 2 team HPs, and a dragon killer. So there are definitely going to be lots of teams who use combo orbs. Team HPs are always good. Dragon killer is always fantastic. So this can even be good on non-dark swiping teams. Yes, you do lose out on the dark rows, but that combo orb might make a difference. It does give the double team HP, which is nice, but that dragon killer can make it so you can overcome certain spawns with relative ease. Because now that owning card is 5 times personal damage against dragon type spawns. So maybe you can clear certain things in less turns than before. So it's a nice weapon assist. I made sure I made this weapon assist right away because it seems like it's something I would like to have at least lying around. And usually what I do with weapon assists is I make the weapon assist and I put them into a monster box folder that's labeled assists. And then when I'm doing team building and I need to inherit stuff, I can just look in that one particular box, do the filters for awakenings, and find exactly what I need to put on a team. It saves a lot of time overall. And then with that being said, those are all the new evolutions and upgrades as well as changes for version 21.5. So let me know what you lovely ladies and gentlemen think about these upgrades and updates in the comment section down below. Do you think any of these cards are particularly exciting? And would you actually use Nephis as a swipe farming option? Regardless of all that, hopefully you all have a truly fantastic day. I wish best luck in your own pad adventures, and happy puzzling.